Welcome to For All Seasons. I'm sports writer Todd Murray, joined today by former WVU quarterback Fred Wyant. I'll be taking over for sports editor Drew Rubenstein, who is leaving us. And Fred, this is an interesting time always for players. We're a couple weeks away from the Alabama opener. Classes have started up again. Obviously a lot to work on. What is this period of time, like as a player from what you recall from your career?
Well, our situation was a lot different because you were allowed to take whatever classes you needed to take in the fall, and we didn't have morning practices. We didn't have, I had a lunch practice, and when I started that first year, when those games started that first year, I was the fourth string quarterback going into that first game against Furman, and didn't get in the game till 9 minutes to go.
Right. Does the opponent make a difference? I know they're opening up against Alabama, one of the premier teams in college football, with West Virginia native Nick Saban, who's many regard as perhaps the finest coach in the college game today. Does that make a big difference? For players who you open up against?
I think it would be exciting for them to play a team like Alabama, who usually has been number one or in the top 5. That would be exciting. If the kids were like us, when we came here, most of us were from West Virginia or Western Pennsylvania, so we didn't, it wasn't scary for us to think about Pitt or anybody that might be playing South Carolina, because we never followed them, followed those teams. But I'd say that they'd be excited. If you were going to have a good game, that would be the one to have it.
Right, and you as you mentioned, you played South Carolina, Richmond, Furman, Pitt. Were 3-1 during your tenure here in opening games. From what you recall, how prepared were you for that opener?
Well, I can remember I was the fourth string quarterback, and our high school team the year before had won 2, lost 7, tied 1, and then we really got good in basketball, and we won 2 and lost 19. And so, but that wasn't the point. You think you're ready, and you're sitting there, and now you're the next one in line, and that's 4 down. There's 9 minutes to go, right. And you think you can do everything, because I played semi-pro baseball when I was 13, so because we didn't have little leagues and things like that. And it was sort of one of those big Adam's apple where you sort of gulp.
Sure.
You went in, and the first 3 plays we didn't do very much. And then the coach signaled to me to punt the ball, and I was used to doing basically what I wanted to do in high school with the coach's blessing.
Right.
But he would, when I went in and he did that, I wasn't used to that, so I said, I don't know about you guys, to the rest of the guys, but I don't want to kick the ball. And they all said the same thing. We don't want to kick it either. And so we didn't kick it. Jack Stone made a sensational catch for a touchdown 60 yards down the field. We got the ball back, scored again, got the ball back, and we're driving, and the game was over. So the record of the 4 games I was in was 3-1, right. But the record was, that game I didn't start, so the next 3 when we started, we won those. But it'll be something that should be exciting for them, unless they're burn out, because and when I use that word burn out, I know there's going to be a lot of people that might say, well, that's that's not the way it is. Coaches got to work those boys hard and stuff.
Right.
We didn't. If they worked 10 hours a week, we worked 2, and and went to school, were students, or had jobs, or along with that. And so it was not something that you thought a lot about. And when we went to Pittsburgh that one year, I can remember Bruce Bosley, who was one of the greatest players that ever played here, and Bruce said, when we went into Pittsburgh, he said, I bet you that building would hold a lot of hay.
Right.
And it was a true story,
right,
because he was from Durban and down at Green Bank. Super guy and a great player, but it was that type of thing, so it wasn't, there were other things that would distract you other than Pitt or I don't know what it is today,
right,
because the kids aren't from around here.
Sure. Well, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Fred, thanks for your time once again.
You're welcome.
Please continue to follow For All Seasons on thedpost.com.